The fall of Hive Karsis. Hive Karsis was cold, not just in the sense of its climate, though that too was merciless. The tundra surrounding the hive stretched endlessly, frozen solid under a pale, unblinking sky. But it was a deeper cold that defined Karsis, a spiritual one, a place where faith was routine, not conviction, where the machine hummed louder than prayer, where people survived, but never truly lived. The hive was a vertical fortress of industry, rising like a jagged monolith from the permafrost of Istra V. The noble spires, enclosed in heated domes, watched over the mid-hive manufactoria and the frostbitten underhive. Each layer was a world of its own. Each layer was bound by silence and submission. For centuries, Karsis endured. It produced what the Imperium demanded. It obeyed. It remained. Until the voices came. It began with vox static. At first, just a flicker in the lower frequencies. Background noise that the tech adepts dismissed as interference. But the interference became a pattern. The pattern became a melody. And the melody began to change people. The transmissions called themselves the chorus of the veiled ecstasy. They spoke of harmony, peace, and deliverance. Their words were beautiful. Their tones were soothing. And they spread, slowly, then rapidly, like a whisper moving through the cracks in the hive's walls. Istra V was a Vox technician apprentice, young, quiet, and largely invisible in the vast machinery of Karsis. She worked long shifts in one of the mid-hive tuning towers, calibrating the hymnals that regulated manufactoria prayer cycles. It was there she heard it for the first time, a signal buried in static, almost imperceptible. It was gentle. It praised her. It made her feel seen. And so she listened. Day after day she returned to that signal. Slowly, the chorus became her sanctuary. They invited her to secret gatherings. There was no pressure, no fear, only warmth. At least at first. Dren Vortek, by contrast, was all edges. A precinct officer of the Vox division in K-38, he had spent decades dealing with the worst of the hive's underbelly. His armor was outdated. His tools barely functioned. But his instincts were sharp. He began noticing strange patterns. Workers marching in rhythm. Suicide synchronized by shift. Screams transmitted across secure channels in perfect harmony. Vortek's investigation was unofficial at first. His superiors weren't interested in anomalies that didn't disrupt production. But the patterns deepened. Files vanished. Witnesses went silent. And eventually he found a name. Istra V. She seemed harmless. Just a tired, overworked apprentice. But something in her eyes unsettled him. Then came the envoy, a figure draped in layered robes and silk veils. He arrived from the spire, sanctioned by noble sigils and escorted by servo skulls that projected vox chants in harmonious tones. He never spoke directly, but his presence radiated command. The nobles welcomed him as a spiritual advisor. The clergy revered him as a sanctioned prophet. Even the Arbites stepped aside. But his voice, amplified through the hive's vox network, began to change people. Not just spiritually, physically. Whole districts began moving as one. Song became command. Pain became pleasure. Magistra Alendre Vocus arrived shortly afterward. An Arbites officer of noble blood, she was assigned to Karsis to audit internal transmissions. She believed it to be a routine counterinsurgency. What she found was erasure. Records deleted, logs corrupted, entire sectors blanked from surveillance. Vocus was methodical, precise, loyal to the Lex Imperialis, but even she could not deny what was happening. She crossed paths with Vortek, initially dismissing him as a low-born brute. But as their findings aligned, her disdain gave way to respect. The breaking point came with blood. Seraph witnessed her best friend, her only tether to her past self, murdered during a cult ritual, not by blades or bullets, but by sound. A sonic eruption from the envoy, now revealed in his full horror, a servant of Slanesh, an emperor's child. The illusion shattered, Seraph, in desperation, returned to the place where it had all begun, the Vox Chapel beneath the spire. There, hidden within a sealed altar, she retrieved a data slate left to her by her old mentor, a man who had warned her before vanishing without trace. The slate contained coordinates, warnings, the truth. She found Vortek, wounded, alone, searching for meaning. She gave him the slate. She told him what was coming. Beneath Karsis lay an ancient structure, a pre-Imperial vault designed to stabilize long-range vox harmonics. It had been dormant for millennia. The cult planned to awaken it. The vault was not just a machine. It was a resonant array. And once activated, it would turn the Hive into an amplifier, for death. Vortek and Vocus descended into the ice tunnels, deeper than any sanctioned map allowed. They faced corrupted servitors, walls that echoed with voices of the dead, and a structure that pulsed with unnatural rhythm. They reached the core. A final ritual had begun. The Noise Marines stood in the center, surrounded by cultists singing their final chorus. Vortek destroyed the control relays. The vault collapsed. The resonance failed. Karsis was saved. At a cost. Seraph died before the final moment. Her body was found curled near a shattered Vox altar. Vocus disappeared in the chaos, last seen issuing an emergency Vox signal to the Inquisition. Vortek was found days later, wandering the tundra. Deaf. Frostbitten, but alive. He never spoke again. Hive Karsis was declared lost. Its remains quarantined by order of the Inquisition. Its Vox channels sealed forever. Its song silenced. But some say, if you listen closely, you can still hear it. Whispers in the static.